you tell us your name? Hi, guys, and we are live. We're back again with Strange Journeys, a most unusual live stream podcast. And we've got some good stuff lined out for you today. But before we get into that, we're going to introduce Christine and Tommy and our very special guest, Kent. And we'll be introducing him complete later. All right, he's our special guest today, sitting in with us, and we're gonna pick his brain on a lot of stuff that you may enjoy. So remember to comment. So you guys, my ETs, help me keep up with the comments because I get caught up in all the stuff that I got to do that I forget. Before we get on to the show, remember that we have our merch sites, strangestuff.live, where you can get just all kind of weird, strange stuff that has to do with the paranormal, the supernatural, and all that kind of good stuff. We have our show merch, where you can go to Teespring and you can get T-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, that kind of thing. We're still working on expanding that, but we got a few things there now. And join us on Facebook at facebook.com/Strange Journeys. And our group, Strange Friends, of all the folks that love the Strange Journeys podcast, join us there. All right. Appreciate y'all being with us. Christine, what's happening in your world, girl? Where are you at with that book?
Well, I'm still in chapter 7. I had to take a week off to take care of some family situations, but I think it's coming along pretty good. It's still playing in my head as to where it's going to go. I've got some twists and turns that I've got planned to really throw my readers off. So we're working on it.
Yeah, I got some plot twist.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Well, like I told you before, she is old school. She does everything in a notebook. She doesn't have a laptop or anything. Somebody does that for her later, right?
Well, my eldest daughter is supposed to put it into the computer, but she's had some stuff going on that she needs to take care of, so it's kind of a slow process right now. But I did take what I've just written last week up to a friend of mine, and she read it, and she's kind of adamant about me getting it done as soon as possible.
Cool.
I want more.
Well, Christine's gonna keep us updated on there. And remember, you can find her on Facebook. It's Facebook.com/author Christine Rogers.
Correct.
And she's one of our sponsors, so we'll be playing her little ad here later. All right. Oh, and that reminds me, Tim Shepard is working on his next book. He's got 2 out already. And so if y'all don't realize, Tim Shepard does Ravenwind Tours, but he's also one of our ETs. and he has sent me the introduction to his next book to I don't know, edit, proofread, whatever. So I've got that and going to be working on that. So Tommy, what's happening in your world?
Man, it's been
Tommy,
interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
It's been interesting, to say the least.
Well, what did you ever get back over to that lady's property that she found some artifacts on?
No, her husband didn't think that was a good idea. He didn't want to stir up nothing, cause anything worse to start happening.
Oh, okay.
Which is fine by me, you know something.
Yeah. Well, folks, I just those of you who are watching, Tommy got hit with some tough times, some medical issues, and we have a GoFundMe for him on our Strange Journeys page. So if you go there, Facebook, let me bring it back up here. Facebook.com/Strange Journeys. You'll find a link to the GoFundMe to help Tommy. So we would ask you, please do what you can, share if you can, and help us out there. We'd certainly appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, Christine.
I really would.
Yeah, we all appreciate it. Christine just wanted to let everybody know, comment here. Yeah, I'm glad you did that because we want this to be interactive. We want people to chime in. All right, like I said, we're going to be introducing Kent. I got to remember my orientation here. Kent, right there, in just a few minutes. So we're going to get all the updates from him after we start the show officially. So it's that time, folks. Are y'all ready to go on our strange journeys? And we are back live stream. This is Strange Journeys, a most unusual live stream podcast. All right, we start every show with the latest sightings. Now, this one that I'm going to share with you today, I found it was posted just a couple of days ago on YouTube, but the actual original video was like back in May. So I don't know what the lag time was there, if they just found it, but this was posted by a YouTuber called Scary Videos. But this was recent, within the last 2 days posted. It may have taken him that long. Let me see what y'all think about this latest sighting. Now, wasn't that just the least bit creepy? And no, that was not Tommy. The video was kind of pixelated, especially on the zoomed in part. But what? Some kind of huge head and a little body? What do you
It
think?
looks like a damn bowling pin.
Yeah, that was just. Like I said, the
It's kind of
CCTV.
weird.
Yeah, the CCTV said I think May the 2nd was when this was captured, but for whatever reason, it just got posted on the YouTube a couple of days ago. Let's look at that again. Hang on just a second. All right. I'm sorry. That was kind of weird. Yeah.
He don't count until he walks or nothing. He kind of glides.
Yeah, I noticed that. And I think I kind of accidentally restarted it because I saw Lynn had popped back on. So I was adding her. And it was just like, what happened? I lost the sound and everything. Anyway, yeah, but the one thing that stood out to me was the eyes, or what I assume to be eyes, those glowing spots. I mean, what did you think?
It looked like somebody walking with a flashlight at their arm.
Could be.
On the other side, one part when the camera kind of zoomed in a little bit, he had some of the shortest arms you could ask for. It looked like a T-Rex almost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the YouTube video says this is an alien or a ghost, and I had to that.
Kid on a skateboard.
Yeah, I mean, I added to that. This is a prank. Is this? I mean, do you think this could be debunked? Is something normal or natural? How would you even replicate that? What was that? Go ahead.
I don't know. Somebody smart. It took somebody smarter than me to be able to make something like that, make something to look like that and move like that. Because at a couple of points, you could actually see its little arm moving.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know if I put that in a ghost. I don't know if I could put that as a ghost though. I'm thinking more along the lines of Marvin and Martian there with that one.
True. But I mean, I can't say I've ever seen an alien, but most of what you see from aliens, they have more of a body, I guess. But it was, if you look at it, compared to the front porch it was walking beside, maybe about 3 foot tall or so, but that head was huge. But it kind of reminded me of when you take a picture of some kind of animal or something and their eyes flash. It's got that bright flash in their eyes. If that was their eyes, I don't know. All right. If you who are watching have any thoughts or comments on our latest sighting video, please comment and let us know. We'd love to hear your opinion. And I had a thought the other day. I'm going to take all these latest sightings videos and we're going to upload them to the page so that people can come back and comment on them later as to what they think. All right. Our first sponsor before we get into the topic of the show. Here we go. FrankLovesBooks.com. All right. Okay. Who's eating chips out of a bag? All right. Well, I've mentioned this before. We don't really sell sponsorships to our show. The sponsors that we have on here are each of the ET's extracurricular activities. In other words, things that we do outside of the Strange Journeys show. So the Frank Loves Book, franklovesbooks.com is my website. And we'll actually be talking about, because some of the things we're talking about today, you can actually find at Frank Loves Books. All right. This is our first show on ghost hunting. Now, I honestly decided not to call it Ghost Hunting 101. One main reason is because Kent has a podcast, and that was the name of his show. One of his episodes was Ghost Hunting 101, and there's books of Ghost Hunting 101 and all this kind of stuff. And so I chose one of the two questions that is most commonly used in a ghost hunt. Did you hear that? And what's the other one? What's the other question that's seems to be always used? Oh, come on, guys. Is there anyone here with us?
I'm here. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's the question.
Oh. Y'all picking on me today.
Wake up, Christine, please.
I'm trying.
Thank you for being here. All right. So basically, I envision 2 more shows. We're just going to talk over some basics today. We're going to pick Kent's brain because actually, I think, I've never really discussed this with him, but I think he's really one of the pioneers in this modern era in the area of ghost hunting. But we want to focus on 3 major areas today, and that's who ghost hunts, who goes out there and spends their time. And I want to talk about personalities and motivations. And then secondly, I want to talk about locations. And thirdly, we want to talk about some ghost hunting tools. And each of us will have our own opinions and things like that. But before we actually delve into it, I wanted to introduce it this way. In 2004, a new kind of TV show hit the airwaves and created a phenomenon that we still experience to this day. That show was Ghost Hunters. I mean, according to my research, that was the very first show in this modern era that actually focused on a team going out to ghost hunt, and that was back in 2004. And the thing that separated it from the other paranormal shows throughout history was that this was 2 plumbers. Well, they were Roto-Rooter plumbers, weren't they?
Yeah.
And they went out and they hunted ghosts with all this fancy equipment. And I tried to find their very first promo, but I couldn't. Where'd I put it? Yeah, but check this out.
Most people
Can you please make your presence known?
wouldn't last
Who's in here with us?
4 minutes. We're giving you 4 hours. A new theme every week.
We're gonna hunt some ghosts.
This week, Jason and Grant find out what's been haunting New England. Ghost Hunters, this Wednesday, starting at 7 on Sci-Fi.
Ghost Hunters, I'm sending you this because we had to flee our home.
Several of us have gotten locked in the White House. We've had sightings of the shadow figure.
I heard a man running up the stairs.
Let's figure out what the heck's going on here.
Is someone in here with us?
It's coming closer.
I'm here to help you.
We're not looking for ghosts. We're looking for the truth.
The phenomenon returns. Ghost Hunters premieres August 21st on A&E.
So it's still going today. I know they split up and went their separate ways for a while, but it's I'm pretty sure that latest video is saying that they're starting back up on my birthday this year. But mankind's fascination with the supernatural and the otherworldly has been with us since time immemorial. But this show brought us the ability to watch people, investigating it. Other shows soon followed, and soon we were inundated with paranormal shows and books and movies. And of course, our show is one of the latest. we're in the inundation as well. But this show, what this did was it spawned the thought, hey, if these two regular Joes, these two plumbers can get out there, can do it, then I can. And that's when it wasn't long until local paranormal investigation groups began cropping up everywhere. I mean, there's probably not a town, at least in the United States, that does not have a paranormal group. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been involved with some. Y'all have. I'm sure our viewers have been involved, may be involved now. Some of you may already be in a group. But like I mentioned, this isn't new. This has been going on since the beginning of our civilization. People have been interested in this and asking questions and digging into it and going through it, and they want to research and debunk, and they've wanted to hunt ghosts. Oh, for as long as anyone remember. Did you ever hear of the feud between Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and Harry Houdini? Do you remember that one?
I don't.
Right.
I remember reading about it.
Yes, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, of course, who created Sherlock Holmes and wrote all those wonderful series of books, which I've read everything that he wrote myself. I haven't read all of the offshoots where people take the Sherlock Holmes character, and I've read some of them. But he and Houdini actually started off as friends. And then Conan Doyle actually got involved in spiritualism, his wife more than him, but he got in trouble for publishing a paper on fairies and what he believed about fairies, and then the spiritualism, and he would hold seances with psychics and mediums. And Harry Houdini felt like it was all a bunch of load of crap, and so he was actually a debunker, kind of like the Amazing Randy today. He would go into these things and try to prove that it was false and fake and that they were all a bunch of crooks. But anyway, that spawned a TV show for a while, which didn't go very well, where they supposedly, investigated these weird crimes. But our fascination with the paranormal has led us to this point where we actually begin to learn how to investigate. The ghost hunters, they, which I never understood this, they put someone through a year or two's training. I mean, I remember used to seeing it on the show, like investigator trainee or things like that. It got so big that you could have your paranormal group affiliated with TAPS, which was, what was that, the Atlantic Paranormal Society. You could be affiliated with TAPS, but you had to go through their qualifications. And I mean, I don't know. It just, one group I was in said, hey, we could be signed up with TAPS. And I'm like, no, I didn't see the point in it, but they help a lot of folks. And so I'm not, I'm not denigrating them at all. So I just want to be known, we're not the experts. Some of us have been doing this a while. Kent, like I said, I believe is one of the pioneers, and that's why we brought him on to talk to him about that. So as we go into this, we're going to primarily focus on ghost hunting and paranormal investigations, but there are other types like Bigfoot hunting. I've got some friends on Facebook down in Florida that they've got a tour company that's all they do is they go out into the woods and, knock sticks on the trees and yell and all kind of stuff, trying to get any Bigfoot evidence. And there's UFO watching, cryptid hunting. Anything else that y'all can think of? No, I actually covered the bases.
Yeah, I think so.
I think they still one group pretty much watches Nessie all the time, watching for that Loch Ness.
Oh yeah, we talked about that last time. That there's a Loch Ness sightings website. Yeah, we talked about that. You're right. So there's all kinds, but like I said, in this show, we're talking primarily about ghost hunting, paranormal investigations. So with that, I want to introduce my friend Kent Rasmussen. And Kent, I'm going to let you fill in all the details, but Kent and I met several years ago when we were both involved in a nationwide paranormal group that did tours and other things, and they were based in Salem, Oregon. And so, Kent, tell us a little bit about your background and experience. What was your first paranormal experience?
My very first experience. Hi, guys. I'm Kent, by the way. My very first experience happened when I was 10 years old-ish. I was staying at my aunt's on a century-old farm, and I woke up in the middle of the night to a woman in a black dress just kind of stroking my hair, telling me everything was going to be okay. I didn't think anything of it, kind of interested to see it. And then the next morning I went down and told my Aunt Mary about what had happened, and she said that it was her grandmother that had actually passed away in the room that I was sleeping in.
Wow.
So that's where my background and my first sighting was.
What was your most profound that shook you to the core, personally and with your team?
Well, personally and actually with the team, it was the exact same investigation at the same time.
Yeah.
When we first got started, we did a local cemetery here in Oregon, and first couple nights there was really nothing going on. The third night we started getting some activity, but by the sixth night in a row, we started seeing things crawling across the ground at us, hearing chains dragging, body apparitions. So we actually ended up running out of the cemetery after a couple because they were coming at us.
Wow. I mean, did you follow up with that to see? Did you gather any evidence on that?
Funny story. We did get a whole bunch of evidence out of that one, but one of our investigators actually sat on the CD and broke it.
Oh, no.
We had it all transferred to a disc and it got broken.
Oh, don't you hate it? Yeah.
We did get in the photos. There was about a 7-8 series of photos that was a vortex forming in the middle of this cemetery. Like it started out at the size of a tennis ball and it ended up getting to probably 3 feet in diameter.
Wow. That's amazing. And you caught this on just still pictures or video?
Yep. Still pictures.
Awesome. That's cool, man. All right. Well, I had down here another question to ask you, and I didn't really know how to ask it. But because I've been on these investigations before where something wonky happens and it just has everybody on the floor laughing. What have you run across anything like that where you're just in the middle of an investigation? I don't know, supernatural or just crazy, and then everybody's just loses it.
Yeah, actually, we had one. We had this client that sweared up and down there was a little entity in her closet that would come out at night. Turns out it was her cat.
A supernatural cat.
Yeah, she heard the hissing and all that from the closet, and it was her cat getting stuck underneath the water heater.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, no.
Well, at least you debunked it, okay? All right. Have you had any current experiences just recently that you'd like to share with us?
just a couple of weeks ago, we were at another local cemetery, and we had a couple of shadow figures following us around and kind of watching what we were doing.
Wow. I mean, distinct shapes where you could count, like 3 or 4 of them, or?
Yeah, there was 3. One in the shape of a female. You could see the flowing dress and everything. Another one was probably, it was a male. He was very skinny.
Wow.
If I had to guess height, he was taller than me, and I'm 6'3". So,
wow.
The other one was a little kid.
Wow. Full-blown shadow figures. All right. Well, I mentioned this before, but like I said, I think, just a personal opinion, that Kent is one of the pioneers because they've had their group Salem Paranormal for so long. Tell us a little bit how Salem Paranormal got started and what y'all do.
So Salem Paranormal actually got started in April of 2005. Ironically, that you showed the trailer to Ghost Hunters, because that's what got me wanting to do it. I called up my brother and was like, hey, let's go to a local cemetery. And he was like, for what? And I told him, and he goes, I'm going to do I want to hear ghost voices. And he was like, what? And so we went out, and that was the 6-night investigation. And we just got there. So, April of 2005. It's,
wow.
Been just over 15 years.
Yeah, a little over 15 years. That's awesome. And you continued, I mean, you're still going. You're still a group.
Salem Paranormal is not really doing much. I mean, we're still a group, but we're not doing a whole lot of the investigations right now. We're pretty much helping some newer groups and kind of passing on the torch.
Okay, cool. So, all right, we'll get into that in a minute. All right. You also co-produce a web series or YouTube series called Abnormality, and I just stole a little clip from that. I want y'all to see that real quick. It's just I edited it down, but this is what they have done.
Welcome to a special edition of Abnormality, here with my buddy Kent, Big Tony as always.
So you have to see the way Xena's set up, because when you're driving on the road, you see the hill and you see this, you see the cemeteries right here.
Yeah.
But there was a guy walking like above them, and we stopped to kind of see what he was doing. And
be nosy.
Yeah, random whistling.
Just weird whistling.
Yeah. And I had my 3-year-old daughter out there at the time, Kira. Yeah. She was in the car with me, and we were talking to the pastor of this church, and she looks at me and goes, "Daddy, who's that standing in the window?" And there's nobody there.
Wow.
I was like, okay.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
As always, Big Tony.
Kent.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Abnormality. We'll catch you guys next week with Gert. Big Gert.
Big Gert will
from
be
Holland
in studio.
Will be in studio for an interview, and I heard he's bringing William too.
And I heard he's bringing a couple of his crew members too. So
I wasn't sure about that.
Well, when we talked to him, he said he wasn't sure because of the episode is about him.
The show is definitely about Gert. We're just going to hide and cower in the corner and just let him take over and run the show. And we'll talk more about Transylvania, because I want to do an episode from Transylvania.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Oh, my God. Like a 3-day hunt, just live there.
Have a good night, Jason. We'll be hitting you up very soon to make the plans finalized.
Washoe Club. I'm doing it. All right, brother.
All right.
See you guys next time.
Okay. And I mean, I like that it's just laid back and they sit there and they discuss. So elaborate on that little story there. Your daughter saw something in the car window?
We were just out getting ready as Salem Paranormal. We were actually trying to get to this. There's this church and cemetery here in Salem that is world renowned haunted. I mean, it's all over web pages. They have reports of all kinds of activity. They actually have a spirit there that they call him Old Blue Eyes. He's probably, I think they say he's like about 6.5, 7 feet tall in an cloak, and all you see is his icy blue eyes that glow. We were we wanted to get access to the cemetery because it's a no trust thing.
Yeah.
And at night, and when we went up there to talk to the church people, they had me and Chris distracted, and she was pulling on my shirt from the car window because she had rolled it down, and she was pointing inside the church asking who was standing at the window, because there was someone standing at the window watching her. And when me and Chris looked, there was nobody there.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, kids and pets. What do they say? Kids and pets when it comes to the paranormal. Well, tell us about abnormality and how that got started.
So, unfortunately, after so many years of being an investigator, I'm not a fan of doing investigations anymore. I would rather be behind the scenes and doing the creating and interviewing people. That's just me.
Right.
After years, it gets a little tiresome. I did to reach out to a local TV network that does closed caption community television. And we kind of we didn't script, we didn't write out episodes, nothing. We just turned on the camera and started recording, and whatever sounded good, we posted.
Cool.
We ended up doing 36 episodes in less than a year.
Wow. And those are still on YouTube, obviously. Well, I've subscribed to it, so I've gone on there and watched some of them.
Every single one of them.
Yep. All right, but now you're doing something new with a podcast. Tell us about that.
So, Mysteries of the podcast I'm working on right now is Mysteries of the Paranormal and Beyond. I'm a big proponent of getting information out there to the people about the paranormal and the supernatural, and I would rather teach people the right way to approach these things than what you see on TV. Because what you see on TV is so wrong approach. Just, you don't want to do it that way. The reason why I say that is they operate on a different system than you, and they don't have to listen to you. So there's that. But that's the way that's what it is with me. Is I would rather just sit behind like you guys are doing, have people asking questions and just answering questions, giving them the information that they need.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've listened to a couple of them. I hadn't caught up yet, but I know the very first one that you did was, like I mentioned earlier, Ghost Hunting 101. And that's some of the stuff that we want to go over here today. So, well, give us real quick before we get into all that. What's life like outside the paranormal? Tell us a little bit about home and family and job and stuff like that real quick.
Well, so me and my wife work full-time jobs. Between the two of us, we have 6 kids.
Wow.
Just found out coronavirus closure. Old is going to be 9th November. Is pregnant, so we're going to be parents in a couple months.
Grandparents? It was cutting out.
We work at a local. Yep, grandparents.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Well, thank you. We both have full-time jobs at a local casino here. Just we're staying busy. I mean, that's the problem is we're so busy. We both work the graveyard shift, so we're up all night, sleep all day. You know the routine.
And you also did. I noticed it was last weekend. You actually did a fireworks show for July the 4th.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to actually get one done, be able to do one here. The whole state of Oregon canceled all but like 35, 40 of them.
Wow.
And I've been a licensed pyrotechnician for 19 years. So
nice. All right. Well, yeah. And you're also aren't you a firefighter?
I'm a volunteer for 2 different cities, actually.
Excellent. I thought so. I thought I remembered that. Yeah, we've got one of our ETs, Beth, couldn't be with us here today. She's an EMT and doing some training out in Texas, I think. So anyway, we support you guys.
Right on.
Wow. All right. As we get,
I've been doing.
Have you now? Well, Tommy, I didn't realize that, or if I did, I missed it. Excellent. So we've got some more. People like the EMTs and the firefighters and the cops. We support them all.
So, a lot more of the grifters and charlatans than people think. A lot of people do get into the paranormal simply because they see ghost adventures and ghost hunters and dead files and all these, and they think of it as a way to make a quick buck and a quick living.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I will tell you from not firsthand experience, but knowing somebody who was just on a TV show through Travel Channel, they did 1 season. What the finished product is not what happened. They are on a location for from 10 to 14 days at a time. So, like I mentioned in my background, that experience, day 1 there really was nothing. By day 6 it was going crazy. So if you're spending 10 to 14 days at the same location, eventually the spirits are going to warm up to you and they're going to start producing, if you will. But what they show you in an hour episode is not what you're getting yourself into. So if you're going to get into the paranormal investigation, my opinion is do it for the right reason, and that's to help people. I saw a thing on Facebook the other day that actually made me sick. It was a paranormal group charging somebody $5,000 to do an investigation at their place.
Wow, yeah.
And that's not okay.
No. I mean, most folks that I know that are doing this sincerely, they never charge anything. I don't think you guys never did. I know you guys never did. My friend Al Luna up in Ohio, he never charges anything. And the groups I've worked with here locally in Alabama, they never charge anything, because they're doing it sincerely, which we're going to talk about motivations here in a second. But do y'all know anybody that's like a Peter Venkman or a Ray Stantz or an Egon or a Winston or a Dana? How about you guys watching? Do you know anybody that's like any of these? What about you? Okay, everybody on here, where do you see yourself? Tommy.
Myself. I don't know. I'm pulled 2 ways on it out there. I mean, I like to do it because of I guess you could say, the rush
Yeah.
of but seeing something happen that's not really supposed to be happening. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I kind of like look at it and try this. There's got to be some reason for that to be happening.
Right.
There's got to be, even if it's like a residual haunt, but there's got to be some kind of reason for this to be happening.
Yeah. We're going to
If
talk
it's
about
a demonic thing. It goes back in. Have these kids been messing with Ouija boards or anything? It's a number of there's a reason for something. Everything has a reason.
Right. We're going to go into motivations and perspectives. Why we do what we do, and why we investigate here in a second. Christine, do you see yourself in any of these folks?
Well, I kind of see myself in Bill Murray, just going have fun and check out something, see what's hiding around the corner, what's next.
Right. Yeah.
Get my spook on.
Well, but you also have some empathic abilities, and we've talked about that before. But I'm not going to put you on the spot with that right now, but just know that it's recognized. And so if you are watching and you feel like you have one of these, then let us know in the comments and share with us there. All right, one of our sponsors before we go on into the motivations, our buddy Tim Shepard. Yep, Raven Wind Tours. Like I said, outgrowth of who we used to be involved. The group we used to be involved in. Now, I want to hear Kent's views and opinions on motivations and why people investigate and how we approach it. But the four examples that I see is a skeptic that questions everything. There's got to be a rational reason for what's going on. And then you got your believer that just believes everything, whatever, noise, it is a spirit. But then you got your open-minded skeptic who questions everything, but they're open to learn. And then you got your open-minded believer that starts off not questioning, but then will back off and say, hey, wait a minute, what's going on here? So to me, that's your four different perspectives in looking at this. Kent, what are your thoughts on those?
There is, you've got all of them listed, but there is one more that should be listed, and it is the non-believer. No matter, there's no change in their mind, period. It's
true.
Does not exist.
Yep.
So that's the only one I see missing. But other than that, you nailed it.
Yeah. Well, where do you see yourself?
My motivation, honestly, is I want to prove life after death. That is it.
Yeah.
I want to know. There's a lot of loved ones I've lost, especially recently, and I want to know how they're doing. So I went on an investigation. I tend to reach out to them because I know they're following me because I can feel them.
Right.
I can sense them. Unfortunately, I haven't yet to talk to one of them, but I want, that's my motivation, is I want to know how they're doing. They know how I'm doing. It's only fair, in my opinion, that I know how they're doing.
Well, it's interesting you bring up the non-believers because while you could never get them on an investigation, some of those, when placed in a situation, they start questioning things real quick. I've seen it happen a couple of times, like being on tour. This happened so many times because we would go on tour, and we always had too many investigations while on tour, and this happened several times where we'd start the tour and you'd have this one guy, nope, no such thing as ghosts, no such thing as the paranormal, and on and on and on and on. We'd get into one of the investigations and they'd walk out of there with their eyes like, what the hell just happened? Wait a minute. Something's going on here. So, yes, you're right. There are the non-believers out there, but once they get in a situation where they see something, sometimes their eyes are opened up. All right, Christine.
Yes, sir.
Where do you see yourself? Skeptic, believer, open-minded skeptic, open-minded believer, non-believer?
I'd say I'm an open-minded believer. There's a lot of things that I do question, but I believe that there's got to be something more than what we're doing right now. There's got to be.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, I'm open-minded. I do question a lot of things that certain people say, like people I don't know, don't trust. I do consider myself a skeptic there. But if I know you, I trust you, I'm more inclined to believe what you have to say. But that's with pretty much every aspect of my life.
Right.
If I know you and I trust you, then I take your word for it. I still look at, what I can find out otherwise. But if I don't know you, odds are I'm not going to believe you.
Okay. That makes sense.